going to be an overview of the procedure that we're going to use here. And what we want to show you, there's 4 pieces of software that are on the computer number 1. And what they are is the OBS. It's an open broadcasting system. And then there's another piece that runs the camera called the PTZ optics for pan, tilt, and zoom. Those are going to take out, we're going to stream those through Microsoft web browser, the Edge, and then into YouTube. YouTube's actually going to record it. YouTube's going to stream it live. So we'll have 2 recordings, one from the church, at the church, and one from YouTube. And we'll take that right through the procedure.
When you first turn on your power supply, you'll have 5 seconds to step outside and check your PTZ camera as it goes through its initialization. There it is, going through its little dance. This is what the OBS software, when you first pull it up, this is what the main screen will look like. Across the top, you have a toolbar up here, which you won't need to use. It's all preset. File, edit, and view. You can just ignore this for now. Down here, you have your main visualization. It shows you what you're going to be recording, exactly what it's going to look like as you do it. And then down below, you have a bunch of docks. These are called docks. This is the PTZ sources dock, I'm sorry. And we have 2 sources, a PTZ camera, and we have a mixer, our soundboard. The next dock is the audio mixer dock, and this shows us whether the sound board is working and whether you're pulling up sound into your recording. Then over here you have a scene transition dock, which you won't be using, so you could ignore this dock in the lower right corner. Then finally you have a control dock up here. This is the dock that allows you to start your streaming and stop your streaming, or start your recording and stop your recording. So that's what it looks like in an overview when you first pull up OBS. You now have computer 1 and computer 2 up and running. So we will start with page 1, step 1, computer number 1. Open the OBS Studio shortcut from the desktop. So just double click on your OBS. It does take a while. Oop, we had it up and running, so it didn't take long that time, but it usually takes a little while for it to pop up. Then we're going to go down to your sources dock, which we talked about earlier. We're going to first go to the PTZ camera under sources. We want to make sure that your eye icon is white and unlocked. You can see it's white there. If you click on it, you've just lost your camera because it's crossed off. Make sure it's white so you have a view, and you don't want it locked. If you click on that, I'll lock it. If I click on it, I'll unlock it. So you want the PTZ camera to be white and unlocked. Same thing for the mixer right below it. You want to make sure your eye is white and your lock is unlocked. So that was step 3 under sources dock. Okay. We'll move on to step 4 on page 2. And we'll look at the audio mixer dock. Again, you have to confirm that your speaker is white. Right here it should be white. If I click on it, it's red. We won't have anything coming out of the soundboard. So make sure it's white. Now we're going to step 5. We're going to minimize this OBS screen. Okay, we threw it down below. Now we'll move on to page 3, step 6. Now we're going to open the PTZ optics shortcut right now from the desktop. So I double-clicked on the PTZ optics shortcut. Again, it takes a little while. There it is. And we're going to drag that to the right side of the screen. Now we're going to move to step 7. Click the OBS icon on the desktop toolbar and bring up the OBS screen. It's already up and running. We'll just bring it up. There it is. But you'll notice it blocked out our PTZ Optics toolbar. So now we'll go to step 8. Click on the PTZ Optics icon on desktop toolbar to superimpose the PTZ Optics control pane on the OBS screen. So we'll click on it here, and there it is. Okay, when you click on your PTZ Optics control pane, it happened to come up exactly in the right position here, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it may come in over here somewhere or somewhere else. If it's not where it belongs, just grab hold of it by clicking with your left mouse button on the white bar and drag it to where you want it. Right underneath the control dock is where you want it. So it's easy to drag around.
All right.
Okay, now we're on step 10. After you have made sure that your PTZ Optics control pane is in its right position, make sure that your control dock up here is all visible and you're able to click on the controls. You don't want anything covered by your PTZ Optics control pane, so make sure this is visible. That's step 10. Now step 11, you're going to select camera 1. This is real important. If you don't select camera 1, you're not going to have your preset positions down here. We have up to 8 cameras, but we only have 1 camera, so we always are going to be selecting camera 1. That was step 11. Now step 12, the 9 camera presets will activate once you've clicked on camera 1. I'm going to show you a few of them. We're going to go to announcements. And you'll watch the camera move over to where Pastor will come out and do his announcements. We can do the center with cross. And we can also, I'll show you the lectern here. By clicking on lectern, it'll take us over to the lectern. Now we're going to go to step 13. Step 13 is to set the camera on aisle. The bottom preset here on aisle. That's where you'll set your camera just for the start of the service. We'll come back to this on page 7, but now we're going to go over to setting up YouTube for live streaming.
Okay, we're live.
Okay, we're now on page 5, and we're going to be doing the live stream setup. So step 14 says to click on the desktop, open the Microsoft Edge browser. Right down here, this is Microsoft Edge. Just double click it and it'll pull up Microsoft Edge. Now step 15 says click on the favorite toolbar. If you look here, you're going to see Lutheran Church of Our Savior already there sitting in your toolbar. On 16, you'll click on that and that'll take you to the YouTube channel, the LCOS site on the YouTube channel. On step 16, you're going to see that we're going to go over here to the camera. And we're going to click on the camera, and we're going to have 2 choices, either to upload the video or to go live. And we're going to go live because we're streaming. So we'll click on Go Live. And now we're on the YouTube LCOS channel and it's waiting for us. You'll see this just spinning and spinning and spinning, waiting for the OBS software to start streaming something to our channel. On step 17, we're going to go over to and click on Edit. And this screen will pop up. And on step 18, we're going to go here into this box and we're going to type in today's service. Take it from your bulletin and type that in. We'll leave this alone here. It's public. It needs to be left alone as it's public, made for kids. That's step 19. Step 20, we're going to go down and we're going to save what we've put in as a service title. Now we're back to the YouTube channel, and it's again spinning, waiting for the OBS software to start live streaming. We're now at the end of page 6, and we're going to leave our live streaming YouTube studio page up and running. As we transition to page 7, we're going to go down below, we're going to click on our OBS icon on our lower toolbar, and then we're going to click on our PTZ Optics control panel on our lower toolbar. So now we're just sitting around waiting for the service to begin. In step 21, when the pastor comes out to start the service, we're going to click on Start Streaming. And immediately we're going to go to this middle box and say, yes, we want to start the streaming. Then we're going to go up and hit Start Recording. So now we have streaming going and recording going. But you'll notice that as soon as you click on anything in your control dock, you lose your PTZ Optics control panel. So it's back down here. So you have to go down and click on it again to bring it back up. Anytime you click on anything in here, you're going to lose this. So you have to pull it back up. Okay, now we're going to go on to step 23. We're going to transition to controlling the soundbar and camera positions. So remember, we have camera 1 running here, and we have all these different positions. We're going to go back for a second here. We're going to check on step 24, we're going to check on our YouTube window. And it should show that we are streaming live. And there we have the picture showing us that we've been streaming. We've been streaming here for 55 seconds. So we can now throw that back down below, and we're back to our OBS software. We're now on page 8, and page 8 shows you a typical service, and it shows you some of the different camera settings for the different positions. Like before the service, you'll be on the aisle setting, which shows up as a number 8 on your diagram there. Now these numbers that are on the control pane are actually not there when you're looking at it live. These are just for your edification, so you can figure out the difference of these different settings. If you go to the next one, pastor announcements, the camera setting is announcement, and announcement happens to be setting number 1 if you're looking at the numbers overlaid on top of the different settings. So you go through the different settings there and see how you would go through a typical service. You'd probably go through your bulletin at the beginning and try to figure out where you're going to have your camera settings. In fact, I think that's a good idea, just to go to aisle, pulpit, whatever, and be ready for these different settings long before the service starts. Okay, now we're on page 9, where we're going to shut down our camera live streaming and shut down our camera recording. So we're going to go to step 1 on page 9, and we'll stop our streaming by clicking right here. Stop the streaming. Then we go down to the dialog box down here, and we click on yes. Are you sure you want to stop your live stream? Yes. And now we're going to stop our recording. Go back up to the control dock up here and stop the recording. Now the recording is stopped. That was step 2. And now in step 3, we're going to go back to our YouTube window here, pull it up, and we're going to end the stream right up here on the upper right-hand side. We're going to end the stream because YouTube is still streaming. They will eventually shut it down, but we want to end it right away so we don't end up with a lot of dead space on the end. And then we come to the dialog box. Your stream will stop immediately and you will no longer be live. So we will end that right there. So now we've stopped our stream on YouTube. We'll pull back up our OBS screen and pull back up our PTZ Optics control pane. And now we're going to close down our PTC Optics pane by clicking on the red X in the upper right corner. Now we're going to close down our OBS software by clicking on the X again. We'll now shut down our YouTube video. And then on the desktop, we're going to go to this folder here called OBS PTZ Recording. Double click on that. We'll find the recording we just made, which happens to be right here. We will right click on that to rename it. And we'll rename it last Sunday's date, like 1-03-21, and we'll give it late service or early service, whatever service it was. Save that. And then we can close that down. And we are done.